Welcome, my astrological lovers. It is me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Today, we are diving deep into the celestial event that's going to shake some things up. Jupiter grants entrance into Gemini. This happens every 12 years, where Jupiter brings its expansive energy into a new zodiac sign. And what does it mean when this huge planet dances around the celestial realm energy of the twins? Hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen, because we're about to explore the powerful shift that could redefine your communication, your learning, and your ability to connect with others. Let's get started. Now, oh, wait, before I get started, I would like everyone to please subscribe, like, comment, do your due diligence as a YouTube watcher, or if you are on X, don't forget to hit that follow button. And if you are listening to me on a podcast, please download and join the subscription. That is what pays my bills. Pays my bills. Well, that's your way of paying me. Okay. Now, in addition to this, I have a Patreon, and I always have a video connected to whatever you are, whatever platform you're watching or listening this to. And the Patreon video, in lieu with this, which I am so excited about this Patreon video, it's going to be really good. It's about harnessing Jupiter's luck in the sign Gemini. So in this video, I explain it all, but in my Patreon video, I'm going to go really deep and say, how can you harness this energy to work really good for you? And Jupiter is all about luck and expansion, expansion, positive and negative, but we want to work on the good part of this energy. So go ahead, and it is $4 to join my Patreon. It's very affordable. It is, yes, I can say cheaper than a McDonald's meal. I don't eat McDonald's, but in this inflation, yes. And there are so many videos. There's personal readings. You can also ask me a question in my Patreon because there's not that many members. So you can ask a question at least once a week, and I will do a personal reading for you until the membership gets bigger. And what else do we have? Oh, I have other videos, Mercury retrograde kit, survival kit. I have an eclipse, how to survive any type of eclipse and what to look for any type of eclipse, and more and more and more and more. There's so many videos, but those are the top ones that I can remember all the time. Okay, so let's get into this energy here. I realize I don't have my charger for my laptop. So, should I wait until it says low battery? No, I think I'm going to grab my charger real quick. Hold on, because this is live, okay? Okay, yes. So we're back. Apologies. Isn't that annoying? My mom really hates when someone is not ready for a video. And here I was. Sorry, mama. I don't even call my mom mama. I call her mommy or mom. It's so interesting to hear other people call their moms mommy or mom. No, mama. Okay, anyway, so Jupiter enters Gemini, and it enters Gemini May 25th, 2024 at 4:14 p.m. and it goes all the way into June 9th, 2025. I looked at all the aspects of Jupiter, and it does retrograde, which, it's normal for a planet. So we do have that. Now let's talk about Jupiter themes. Now, themes for Jupiter, the planet. This is not pertaining to the zodiac sign, just so you can understand. There's expansion, Anytime Jupiter is in any astrological zodiac sign, there's optimism and good fortune. It brings that energy, good fortune and optimism. There's abundance and prosperity. Who does not like that? I'm talking about the terms of wealth and positive experiences and opportunities. It also marks times when things can come more easily and very generously. Ooh, love that energy. Jupiter is also dealing with higher learning and education. I'm talking about college. I'm talking about PhD level. I'm talking about beyond this basic math, 1 plus 2. Okay. Higher learning. Even high school can be considered higher learning. My son has some placements with the ninth house, which represents Jupiter. And once he hit high school and it was beyond the basic level of understanding basic learning, it was mind blown. I also have placements in the ninth house and I love higher learning. So, yes, so there is that. And then travel and exploration. Jupiter also governs long distance and encouraging exploration to foreign countries, foreign places, foreign cultures. So, there we have that. It's really dealing with the world and philosophy and beliefs. Also, you could be dealing with some religion too. So it's about our morals and our ethics and our belief systems. And then we have generosity, and there's a sense of altruism, sharing with others and knowledge and resources and time and supporting some altruistic endeavors. Then we have legal matters. Okay. It governs legal issues because Jupiter wants us all to be connected and to work together. And how can you do that if law is not in place to deal with each other? So there is also this natural understanding of things with Jupiter as well. So it's concerned with the social glue that holds everything together. I said religion. It's also the traditional great benefic planet. Okay. And that is in meaning very just positive. There's also spiritual growth, there's ethics and morality. Oh, publishing and broadcasting. Jupiter is all about that. We'll get into the sign Gemini in a minute, but I just want you to understand that it represents that. There's mentorship and guidance is associated with wisdom. So philosophy and wisdom. So Jupiter is linked to the roles of mentorship when you have that celebration of joy, of course, with that optimistic energy. There's also risk taking and gambling. Jupiter is very adventurous. So it's dealing with a little bit of that fire energy because Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. So if you know anyone who's a Sagittarius and has strong Sagittarius placements, then you're thinking of Jupiter. There is diversity with this. So it's reflecting its love for cultural and exchanges. So it supports environments that are very diverse in thoughts and backgrounds. So Jupiter is about that. Remember that expansive, also future planning kind of energy and a higher vibration. So that is what we got. Oh, and also a big picture. And the key words for Jupiter is affluence, awards, the Holy Bible. It's dealing with country, foreign affairs, foreign ethics, faith, religion, financial affairs, honesty, hope, growth, luck. It's dealing with senators and senate. So be aware of that when we get into the zodiac sign of Gemini. Again, wisdom, valuable things, universities. I might pause because currently, as I am filming this live, I know we were just coming over this. I was thinking of Pluto and Aquarius, but for people who don't know astrology, but we're coming over all these strikes at the universities. So we have Jupiter representing universities, and there's wealth, there's wheat dealing with Jupiter, courtroom, because we're dealing with law and wages. Now, let's talk about the sign Gemini. So we talked about the planet that's going to host this energy and say, here we go. This is how we run things in our house. That's basically what Jupiter is saying. That's what I was just explaining earlier. I had to shift my dress. Oh, you guys, I was kind of cold, but the dress that I have on today is a Reformation dress. Sometimes I'm very curious on what people have on. So, yes, I have a Reformation. Reformation is one of my go-to brands. I kind of stick to the same brands and purchase them constantly. So, I have a lot of Reformation. Is it no, not Reformation. Not Reformation. I am so sorry. That is one of the brands, but that I love. But this is not a Reformation dress. This is a realization par dress. Yes. Kind of old, but yes, just so you know, in the color red for all the people who are listening on podcasts. And I also have like a little shrug because I get cold in my house and I can't turn on the heat because I'm filming. Okay, TMI. Back to what you're here for. Gemini, okay? Now, Gemini is an air sign and it's a mutable sign. Air sign means there's a lot of focus on communication and intellect and socializing. And when you have and it's also a masculine sign, meaning the energy is very extroverted. It's very out there, not internal, not that's more feminine energy. So masculine energy doesn't matter if you are male or female, what you identify as. The masculine energy means it's extroverted. Now, mutable sign means that it is very changeable, very unpredictable. Okay, a lot of changes with Gemini. So, what else do we have with Gemini? Gemini is about communication. It is the ruler of Gemini. The planet is Mercury. So, it's all about communication. And if you know about Mercury retrograde, yeah. Then you know what else I'm going to say. It's also about traveling, our day to day travel. Okay. Intellectual curiosity, being adaptable, very social energy, very social, naturally social. There's a duality because Gemini represents the twins, right? So there is this representing both. The under the above the world and below the world because it was the communicator between its two, and also homosexuality, sexuality, and being very open to that because it's like, I like both. I'm open to it all. There is that energy with Gemini. Very quick thinking. Youthfulness also represents Gemini. Restlessness, doesn't want to keep still. It's very energetic, very versatile. That goes with what I was saying with the sexuality. I don't know if I said it's homosexuality. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on homo. It makes me think of homophobic. Yeah. So it may so anyway, but it's very open with sexuality because it's very curious, right? And if you're curious, that's what you and Gemini also wants its hands in everything. And also rainbow represents Gemini. That's why every time there's Gemini season, there's rainbow. So we're going to get into what that means when Jupiter is in that hosting that sign of Gemini, right? Networking, very inquisitive energy. There's charm, there's wit, a lot of information exchanging with Gemini because we are communicating and we're dealing with intelligence. Gemini also likes to teach what they learn, that kind of energy. Very surface. It doesn't really like to get deep because it wants to have its hands in every pot, and because it likes it all, it doesn't really get deep into anything because it doesn't have time. It's too busy trying to get it all and learn it all at the same time. Problem solving is really good with Gemini energy. The ability to think quick and form different angles is great with this energy. There's a lot of various learning styles, very flirtatious at nature. Now, the body part that Gemini rules, I heard a sound. Um, there's always people walking on my roof. Anyway, but the body part that Gemini rules is that are the hands, the arms, shoulders, the nervous systems, and the lungs. And yes, so bronchitis too, because it's not the throat but just the talking. Is a lot of talking. So when Jupiter hits this, get ready for that. Now Gemini is known most for its love of communication and all forms of communication. I'm talking about text, email, a DM. That is a form of communication, okay? Any type of cell phone, any way you communicate, if you write an old school letter, all that is dealing with communication. Now, there's also being very clever with words, being very skilled with words. So, like authors, journalists, okay, broadcasters, newscasters, because that's spoken and written and oral communication. So negotiation, trivia, word games, gossiping is also a form of communication, eavesdropping, chatting with strangers, and anything dealing with the phone. Okay. Now, also because it's social, it's very a very high social sign. So it's a people manager. It has the gift of persuading, very skillful with handling others, constant drive to create a connecting ability with others, like connectivity, because it is dealing with this underworld and above the world. And it's like, look, we can all get along. We're very social. So you have that. Also, remember, I said youthfulness. So not quite children, because that's more Leo energy, but youngness, okay, if same as usefulness, okay, but yes, so because we also have the intellect part, so there's this energy of having a thirst for knowledge, quick in thought and action, surfing the web constantly googling is a Gemini energy. Also a teacher or someone who's very curious about everything. Early education also represents Gemini, and remember I told you Jupiter is higher education, so we'll get into that. Perpetual student of life, learning skills, and and also flexibility and adaptability, because it is a mutable sign. But Gemini is like the most mutable sign because it's like everywhere, and it likes the black and the white, and it likes the multiple colors. So very versatile, very adaptable. I have a Mars in Gemini, and I dress different probably 3 times a day. It's so extreme, you guys. And because not only do I have a Mars in Gemini, I have a Venus in Gemini. So I am a professional and understanding Gemini uh, placements, okay, or Gemini energy. Sorry, my phone was ringing, so that distracted me. But doesn't like routine, values freedom, very inconsistent energy, many sided, again, multitasker, and Gemini wants to do it all. So, like, if Gemini is doing a film, it's going to be the director, it's going to be the actor, it's going to be the makeup artist. Promise you, as a Mars and Gemini, I've done all that. Okay. So you have that. Now, Gemini is also a prankster. Now, this is a part that I really can't relate to. It likes to play practical jokes, and there's deceitfulness and manipulation, and there's mischievous. There's also nerviness and tension. I have noticed it because I have a Venus in Gemini. I have a lot of friends who are Gemini. So I do understand and see this energy of like can't keep still and very nervous. So yes, okay. What else do we have? Oh, keyword for Gemini: domain of language in the mind, perception, intellect, neighborhoods, okay, community as well, transportation of all kinds. And I'm talking about railroads, I'm talking about trains, airplanes, traffic, walking. Do you ride a bike? This is all involving your community, and it's all involving your day-to-day transportation. So your environment, daily rituals, extended families, siblings, again, twins, okay? Remember, males and mailing, like males, not male and female, but like actual written mail. So you're dealing with any kind of form of mail. You can also deal with memory and memory loss. There's asthma. Anybody dealing with writing a book or editing a book, or yes, like an editor. Okay, there's debates. Things dealing with your hands, dexterity, hands, broadcasting, newscasters, and and also when I look up any newscasters who are very famous, they have major Gemini placements, just so you know. Yeah, oh, radio is also dealing with, so like a podcast, very Gemini energy. You can also Gemini is also dealing with commerce and stocks, because it's dealing with trade, because trade is also a form of like communicating. So you have that. Anything dealing with books and like bookstores and book fairs, that is all Gemini. Okay, so now let's get into Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter in Gemini is at a detriment, meaning that Gemini is in the opposite sign. The ruling house of Gemini is Mercury, which is the third house, which is ninth house. Okay, whatever. It is in detriment, and detriment refers to the condition in which the planet is considered to be the least, I would say, maybe not the least, but just there is a weakened position. And Jupiter is the house where it's hosting Gemini energy, and it's quite not seeing things eye to eye. Jupiter wants things to be very big and grand picture, and Gemini is like, well, let's focus on these small things, even though it's not Virgo energy where it's staying there and really figuring it out and taking its time. But Gemini is like, okay, so we can just do it in a smaller picture. We don't have to do in such a grand picture. Like, we can write the book. We don't need to publish the book. So there's some discomfort with this energy. It doesn't quite fit in. There's odds of it because it's opposing, if you know anything about the astrology, will, and does not agree with the rules. So Gemini is like, why are these the rules? Why aren't we focusing on early education? Why are we focused on higher education, Jupiter? I don't like this house, okay? So it has to work really hard to understand the rules. Now, remember that when you're dealing with your personal horoscopes. And also remember that when we're dealing with the collective, okay? So it diminishes its focus when it comes to being deep. And Jupiter really likes to really get the truth and the meaning and the broader philosophical perspective of this. And it can lead to like a scattered energy because Jupiter is like focus and Gemini is like, I don't have time to focus. Okay. I want to do it. I want to do so many things. And Jupiter is like, but let's focus on this big picture. There's intellectual expansion though with this because they're both dealing with intelligence, learning on the same realm. So you do have this higher education, but there is a lack of thoroughness because Gemini doesn't want to be thorough. Okay, just like let's skim the surface and let's move on. Okay, and with higher learning, a lot of times you have to be more thorough. Challenging and fulfilling promises because it's in detriment. Jupiter and Gemini might struggle with the follow through. So let's get ready for that energy. Also, there's a need for grounding because it's in detriment. There may be a need to ground this expansive energy and to structure it on a smaller focus. Okay. Very adaptable though, and it's going to increase a lot of socializing and intellectual opportunities. It is very, very I find it to be positive anytime we're dealing with Jupiter, but especially because I love Gemini energy. So I'm here to have Jupiter expand Gemini bigger than ever. Last time we had this placement 12 years ago, and I was looking at, my astrology, but also looking at my videos. If you look at my few videos about 12 years ago, I was a booktuber, and that is very Jupiter and Gemini, right? Publishing, the fact that I'm reading books, and I don't think I was thinking about writing books, but I could have been. Also, I am a Sagittarius rising, so Jupiter is my ruling planet. So that's also an important thing. Every time I'm so excited Jupiter is leaving Taurus because the amount of bread that's a Virgo energy, but the amount of bread and comfort of just enjoying desserts. I cannot wait now to be moving my body and really talking. And I talk already enough, but okay. So Gemini is an air sign, right? So when you have Jupiter in an air sign, it's going to be mentally adventurous and it's going to be willing to learn and less attached to our values and more open minded. It's going to be able to see both sides of a lot of arguments. Get ready with that when you have public debates. There'll be a lot of public debates, especially when I call them the Bloods and the Crips, especially when it comes to Democrats and Republicans, or whatever the political issue is, because you do have now Muslims against Jewish with the not like religion wise, but I can't think of it, Gaza and Israel. So you do have that. And so get ready for a lot of debates and a lot of arguments because Jupiter is in that sign, Gemini, but there's an intellectual expansion and social expansion, a lot of communicative skills happening because of that air sign alone. Now, because it's mutable, it's going to be super flexible. Jupiter is already very flexible and very adaptable. Completion of cycles is what mutable signs are here for, because at first, there's a cardinal sign that gets things started. There's a fixed sign that's like, oh, perfect. Let's focus on this. Let's get this. Let's stay here and do this. And a mutable sign is like, okay, well, let's wrap this up. Okay, let's wrap this up because we got to go on to the next season and the next movement or the next energy. So you have that wrapping up and concluding and transitioning. You have that element happening with Jupiter in the sign Gemini. A lot of learning and expansion again. Now, let's get into some more Jupiter and Gemini things. Well, we attract the most good fortune when we use our wit, and there's a lot of versatility, a lot of socialness, a lot of curiosity, and a lot of friendly energy. Okay, we place strong emphasis and values on intellect. What else do we have? I'm trying not to say but a lot of things with written and writing, communication, knowledge. I know I'm being repetitive, but I just really want you to understand how that's going to be enhanced bigger than ever. And what else do we have? Oh, also remember increased travel. Now, Pluto in Aquarius, and Pluto is going to enter retrograde into Capricorn. But while Pluto's in Aquarius and Jupiter is in Gemini, traveling, especially air travel, huge, and there's going to be a bigger picture of what's going on for us, the air travel. Now Pluto in Aquarius is bringing a lot of issues, the dark side, to planes and traveling with planes, which is going to fix things and at the same time cause a lot of chaos for people. And Jupiter and Gemini, I think it's going to expand that in a big way, but not just traveling to another country, which could happen because you're dealing with Jupiter, but also the day-to-day travel. So like getting on that plane and driving, flying 2 hours away. So that's going to be huge. Curiosity about the world, being very diverse in your interests. And what else do we have? Skill development and networking skills. All that's going to be big. Now the negative side I have is too much information, like an overload of too much information, gossiping and being very indecisive because you're dealing with that middle energy, and challenging with focusing. That's going to be huge. And scattered energy, be ready for that. And people who you think were more focused, you're going to see that a collective shift of just like everywhere. And because we're dealing with Neptune and Pisces, that energy of having some illusions and deceptions and all that, that is going to make it bigger, because it's going to, the Neptune and Pisces already causes a confusion, and the Jupiter and Gemini, I think, will just make that even bigger. Okay. And both mutable energies. So there is that squaring aspect, but we'll get into that later. Superficial and lack of depth, overemphasis on communication and less action, just all talk and there's no movement, lack of commitment, exaggeration and overstatements, because Jupiter is all about the expansion part, right? And Gemini is going to manifest these tendencies to overstate and maybe embellish. Not, and let's not say maybe, it will be embellishing, and there's going to be misinformation and lack of clarity. Get ready when you are talking about the news and broadcasting. You want to use that Neptune and Pisces and really go off of your intuition a lot when Jupiter is in a sign. Gemini, a lot of communication challenges, superficial learning. Now, the collective will be an increase in media activity and information flow, technology, innovations, and advancements, especially anything dealing with technology with communication, any technology dealing with day-to-day travel, and social media platforms, telecommunication, data transmission technologies. That's going to be huge. Intellectual, educational reforms, because we're dealing with education, with Jupiter, higher education, and Gemini with the early education. Watch a lot of that be on stage for the collective, okay? Because we're all going to be focused on education. Now, global connectivity, because Gemini is such a social energy, we're going to be embracing a lot of different countries and worlds, not worlds, but countries, okay? Cultures is really what I was thinking, and networks, enhancing international trade also, because remember, Gemini is got that trade energy. Legal and ethical debates on information, freedom of speech. Okay, get ready. If you thought freedom of speech was an issue now, Jupiter and Gemini is going to push that even further. Data privacy and the ethical implications of artificial intelligence. That is also dealing with that Neptune and Pisces. Now, when you feel like there is freedom of speech is being taken, be ready to look at Mars. And I didn't do any Mars aspects, but Mars is really controlling. Also, that Pluto energy is very dealing with power. Now, I did discuss Pluto aspect. I'll discuss that later in this video. But when I say Mars, I'm doing that weekly. Mars moves pretty fast. So that would be more on my weekly video. So look out for that. But anytime you're dealing with Mars, having any aspects or connection to Jupiter and Gemini, then you're going to get these controlling, like the freedom of speech. Okay. And yes. Anyway, what else do we have? Data, big data, and becoming just data becoming bigger and ever, and new laws and guidelines regarding any of these social media platforms when it comes to communication. Rise in intellectual movements, that's going to be big, and misinformation and information overload, right? I discussed that. Innovation in travel and transportation, cultural and academic exchanges. Politically, the economy is going to economic recovery, because we're dealing with that trade happening. So there could be some of that, and the issues are going to just be biggerly discussed and communicated, and there could be some inflections, huge inflections, because we're dealing with a mutable energy, and Gemini is dealing with that trade and commerce. Okay, so get ready for that. Now, historically, I've discussed this before in other videos and podcast episodes, so I should just say episodes, but personally, I didn't discuss this. I said, like, I was really big in reading books during Jupiter and Gemini, and I was reading up to 10 books a month, and booktube was so big. So look out for book reviews, anything dealing with books being huge, anything dealing with the maybe the Kindle, right? Maybe a new form of Kindle or technology for reading, all that will be huge. And what else? Publishing books, writing of any type, journaling, you know how people do the bullet journals? I would think that's like a little Gemini energy, even though it's like Virgo with the structure. But yes, but it's writing, okay, if you're communicating. Also, it's like Capricorn, that bullet journaling. Anyway, the last time Jupiter transited in Gemini was June 2000 and 2001. Fast track, I discussed this. There was a thing called fast track land reform in Zimbabwe. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because fast track, a lot of fast movement is going to be happening because Gemini likes to move fast. Huge. I didn't say that earlier, but likes to move fast. There was huge big killings in air travel. So this was, in 2000 and 2001. I forget now. I did do this in my 2024 video talking about Jupiter and Gemini. I think I discussed it in a little bit more detail, but I don't know what the chart looked like. So I'm not saying a lot of people are going to die. I'm just saying it's going to be bigger issues with traveling. Okay. Again, I talked about homosexuality in June 2000. I think 2000, June 21st, Scotland, which outlawed the promotion of homosexuality. So the discussion, the theme of homosexuality, rainbows and everything will be bigger because of that. Jupiter, July 1st in 2001 or 2000, I keep don't know the year, but Wikipedia was launched. And isn't that something that, far as like researching and communicating, and I think people can even like edit Wikipedia. So also the Netherlands became the first country to legalize same-sex marriage. So you have that, the good and bad, but the themes of it will be bigger than ever. Okay, so everything I discussed, remember, regardless if you know astrology, regardless if you know the aspects and how the relationships of the skies are happening, look at the news, watch. These things will be happening throughout this transit. Okay, I'm excited about it though. Now let's talk about the different aspects that we have coming up. June 2nd, Jupiter in Gemini is going to trine Pluto. This is a big one right here. Okay, trine is very positive. We don't have to do any work. God has just basically like, here you go, here's a favor. Trine is very positive. Now it's in 1 degree. 1 degree is an Aries degree, so something new. There's some action happening. There's some fighting energy. Yes, it's very positive. It could be like new beginnings and some leadership. So this is going to be happening when this happens, and transformative ideas could be happening, powerful insights. Now, Pluto will be retrograding. So Pluto energy will and maybe dealing with some internal issues and really dealing with the self, but enhanced communication, innovative ideas, intellectual growth, reflective. When it comes to transformation, Pluto is about transformation, collective empowerment, technology, and reform. Now, also there could be some discussion of law because Jupiter is dealing with the law, right? And Pluto in Aquarius for you personally could be changing and healing, causing some healing with some law or some powers of be with the law. Okay. Pluto is also representing things that are hidden and things that are very taboo, like, the garbage man or a tarot reader, and you're secretly seeing a tarot. So because we're dealing with that Jupiter and Gemini, and I did talk about homosexuality, there could be something very positive happening if someone's like in the closet, because it's also dealing with some secrets that you have. With that. So very positive. But remember, Pluto's in a sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is all about the intellect, communication, and socializing. So something big in that way, something new, dealing with that air aspect, air energy, which is about extrovert energy, socializing, and communicating. Okay. Now on September 12th, Jupiter is going to square the sun. It's going to square the sun 2 times while it's, I think, yeah, because it does retrograde, but it's going to, on the 9th, no, September 12th, it's going to square the sun in Virgo in 20 degrees, which is a Scorpio degree. So there's some themes of like taboo, death, wealth, rebirth, secrets, manifestation, jealousy, pregnancy, the take of others, and yeah, insurance too, taxes, intimacy. Okay, so squaring is no bueno. There is going to be a lesson learned for the collective or you individually. Okay, and there could be tensions between expansion and details, over exerting versus being very critical. Learning and communication challenges is going to happen. Growth with integration. Now this is going to be probably bigger for my Geminis or Gemini placements or Virgo placements or people squaring the mutable signs, so Pisces as well. Okay, so it could be dealing with that, but growth through integration, practical application of ideas, opportunities for improvement. Okay, now when you have Gemini squaring Jupiter of abundance, squaring the sun. Jupiter, sometimes when it is squaring, is still very positive. So do not be scared, but you are dealing with father issues. You could be dealing with not issues in a negative way, but in a positive way. You are dealing with the ego and the self and the body, okay? And trying to achieve something, like actively pursuing things. So those things could be affected in a big way, positive and negative, when it comes to communicating, okay? And Virgo is also dealing with your health too. So on October 9th, Jupiter is going to retrograde. It's going to retrograde in 21 degrees. Very huge. Jupiter is, it's a 21 degrees is a Sagittarius degree. So there's expansion, wisdom, college, right? So you have that in it. There's reevaluating your beliefs and knowledge internally, pausing in some expansion. So things may not be expanding outwardly, maybe more internally. Enhance internal dialogue, revisiting past communications, clarification of information. Now, this is when the thing that I feel like is going to hit the fan, okay? When it comes to the news and all this stuff, it's like they were saying this and the information was over here, but now we're seeing some clarity, and we'll probably see some clarity when it comes Jupiter retrograding. Now, delayed travel plans can be happening too while Jupiter is retrograding. Now, December 24th, Jupiter is going to square Saturn. Huge aspect. Okay, it's going to be in 14 degrees. That's dealing with your money, your resources, your food, the earth, anything that's like dealing with stability, your luxuries, your home, your voice, and your singing. Okay, so there's tensions between expansion and restriction, conflicts and beliefs and realities, communication challenges. Saturn in Pisces is the limits that you cannot see, the limits that are very confusing. Also dealing with that religion and being very serious with religion. A lot more, but you're going to have that challenge with communication and higher learning and learning. Okay, creative but disciplined approach is needed. Emotional and intellectual growth, because every time you have the square and Jupiter, it doesn't mean it's negative. There could be some positive, and there could be limitations in a good way happening for the collective and you individually. Now, February 4th, in 2025, Jupiter will go direct, and it will go direct in 11 degrees. That's an Aquarius degree. So a lot of this intellectual energy will bring some progress, high places. You could be dealing with some technology or anything dealing with humanitarian or organizations, networking, or friends could be the theme of this. And it going direct, while it's going direct, it's going to try Mercury. So it's going to be very positive energy. So this new aha moment could be happening in a big way. Very increased curiosity. Everything internally will be going externally. All those mistakes that you had to revisit publicly and for the collective and individually would now be like, okay, we're starting to see some progress and some improvement in decision making and mental clarity and communication and socializing and with your hands. Okay, also with education. Now, March 2nd, 2025, that is when the sun will be squaring Jupiter the second time. Now the sun will be in Pisces. So Pisces is in 12 degrees, and 12 degrees is a Pisces degree. So major Pisces energy, bigger than ever. The Pisces energy is dealing with sleep, drugs, alcohol, cuckoo, crazy people, prisons, hospitals, unconscious, the feet, dreams, endings, things beyond that is just like outside of this world. Your intuition, very spiritual, religious, but religious and feeling, things that are very unclear, shadow, darkness, right? So there could be some emotional overextension, difficulties in balancing idealism versus the reality of things, exaggeration in communication, challenges in learning and teaching, growth through tension, creative inspiration. Yeah, I can see that. The last part, the creative inspiration happening because Pisces is very, very creative. Yeah, or maybe in a big way, some religious or some type of belief will be happening for you, or also the sense of the insecurities, because Pisces is like an insecure sign, but that being more positive, like your insecurity being more positive, and you able to communicate that insecurity and use it to physically achieve something, because the sun is that dealing with that ego who likes to achieve things. Okay. So remember, the squares are not always that negative when you're dealing with Jupiter. It could be positive because Jupiter is such a positive energy. And now on March 18th, 2025, Jupiter is going to sextile Chiron in the sign Aries in 25 degrees. That is an Aries degree. So a big sense of the self and one are being first, okay, are like this fighting energy or something new. Leadership as well. So there's healing through communication, because Chiron is the planet of healing, educational growth, and personal healing, because Aries is the self, boosting confidence, because Aries is a very confident energy, okay, and encouraging optimism, yes, with healing and with yourself, expanding self understanding, supporting others through knowledge, because you are dealing with that Jupiter knowledge lessons with the healer. So, yes, you have that. Now, Jupiter is going to square the North nodes and the South node in that same day, again, 25 degrees. So, challenging the North nodes, and the North node is about what we need to achieve in this lifetime to move forward, and the South node is what we need to release. Okay, been there, done that. We're too comfortable, release it. Now, because it's squaring, could be positive, could be negative when you're dealing with Jupiter, but challenges in balancing practical and spirituality, overcoming information overload, because the nodes will be changing signs. It will be in the sign Pisces and in the sign Virgo. Currently, right now, the nodes are in the sign Libra, South node in the sign Libra, North node is in the sign Aries as I'm filming this. But overcoming information overload, growth through integration, karmic lessons, expansion, spirituality, and practical horizons. Now, if you are here for the horoscopes, we are about to do them. If you are in Aries, Jupiter in Gemini is going to enter your third house. That is the house of communication, siblings, and short trips. So, enhanced communication in writing and learning. Everything that I discussed in this video, Aries, is for you. Okay. Relationships with siblings and neighbors could be a big thing, could be very strengthening, and it's going to benefit you in some way. Okay. That's what we have for you. Now, Taurus, this is going to enter your second house, the house of wealth, possessions, and self worth. So, increase earnings, making some moolah and capitalizing on that. Enhance value skills in your intellect with communication, with your skills and what you value, financial opportunities, maybe from communicating, right, and enhancing those communication skills, and really, even the voice, because that second house is dealing with that voice kind of energy. But yeah, dealing with that, making money through, I just feel like you may make a lot of money, but it's something with communication or socializing or using your hands. Okay, and it's big, it's expanding that second house for you. Okay. All right, Geminis. This is, of course, your first house on my Gemini placements, and the house of yourself and your identity and physical appearance. So, increase confidence happens, okay? Really communicating, and new beginnings and new habits. And Gemini is going to really expand communicating your identity and yourself, and really starting something new in a big, big way, broadening horizons, even through travel with yourself, maybe alone. Okay. That is what we have for you. Cancers, Jupiter and Gemini is going to enter that 12th house. The subconscious, hidden matters, solitude. You'll be more huge in communicating those things, like maybe really learning about your dreams, Okay, I see that happening for you guys with this placement, Cancers, and really learning about things that are very secretive or intuitive things. I'm going to tap into tarot bigger than ever. I am a tarot reader, but maybe learning things that I didn't even know is definitely what I will be having with this. Even meditation, yoga, anything hidden, anything dealing with death and endings, huge learning, spiritual growth, inner spiritual growth is what you get with this. Okay, and understanding what is supporting things behind the scenes. Okay, Cancers, that's what we have for you. Leos, Jupiter and Gemini is going to enter your 11th house. This is about your friends, groups, your hopes and wishes. Dream big. Okay, really communicate your hopes and dreams. Okay, and try to think of achieving the long-term goals, because the Gemini is like so like no. But socializing will be big. You might be joining a club, a book club, a fraternity, a networking group, anything dealing with technology. All could be happening. Is going to boost your social status. But Jupiter encourages you to really think also bigger, the bigger picture. Okay, so yes, Leos, I hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time. Virgos, Jupiter and Gemini is going to enter your 10th house of career, reputation, and authority figures. So really learning about your role, your image as well, and communicating bigger than ever when it comes to your career, especially profession, and having some education with your job, increase visibility and recognition in your abilities and your communicative skills in a public realm. Like, are you going to be a public speaker with this placement? Let's see. But career opportunities are going to be expanding. You're going to be learning about them. You're going to be probably even teaching them. Okay. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Now, Libras, Gemini and Jupiter and Gemini is going to enter the 9th house, and everything I discussed is what basically in the earlier the video, philosophy, higher education, long distance travel. I see you traveling to a lot of places. Okay, maybe not staying there, but just like, doing a trip, and like, how someone does a cruise and they go to a bunch of trips. That is what Jupiter and Gemini will be doing. Great benefits from higher learning, traveling, exploring different cultures. A wonderful time for publishing as well. If you are a writer, if you wrote a book, this is a time to share your knowledge and broaden your scale. Your growth on philosophy, and your philosophy will probably be even deeper understanding. Also, on a spiritual aspect, because Jupiter is dealing with some form of religion and like guru kind of energy. All that my Libra placements is, I just, because I love Libras, it makes me smile, but it's going to make you even communicate even bigger on kind of guru kind of level. Okay, and learning it. All right, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, all my Scorpios, 8th house is where Jupiter and Gemini is going to go. Huge, huge expansion. You may have a huge transformation. It will be something that it's written, a book, something, shared resources. Also could be dealing with some contracts here, taxes. Maybe you will get an inheritance. Intimacy is also dealing with this, and secrets, financial opportunities through others. You could be benefiting through some investments. Yes, or there's some financial growth. There's deep conversations that's going to be causing you to have some healing in a big way. Emotional and intellectual growth will be happening with this. Okay. Yeah, and maybe some investments financially. All right, I will see you guys next time. Sagittarius, 7th house, Gemini is Jupiter and Gemini is going to enter. That's all about your partnerships, your open enemies, and marriages, are like seeking help through or marrying or some others, not just like marriage, but also are like your boyfriend, girlfriend, but like also like a mechanic or a therapist. Okay, seeking some help or guidance through someone else. Okay, and also getting help with others, like a partnership. Okay, maybe starting a new business or writing a book with someone, a partner. Beneficial developments in business and personal relationships. New partnership. Maybe you are going to get married. Maybe there is a new relationship. Very positive energy when it comes to relationships and public dealings, because it can improve your relations. Also, legal matters can bring positivity with some legal matters with law and justice, and the contracts of it, and reading it and communicating it will be very clear for you. All right, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Capricorn, Jupiter in Gemini is going to enter the sixth house. This is all about your health and service to others and your daily routines. Daily routines, even bigger, right? With that Gemini placement, opportunities for growth through work with employees, particularly in jobs that involve communication or information management, health and routines. Good period to adapt a new health routine, really learning about it. Also, your mental health. Also cleaning your home, okay, organizing, but more dealing with communication because we're dealing with Gemini. So communicating, moving fast, and maybe your health will be healing in a fast way too. Okay, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Aquarius. Now, fifth house, Jupiter is going to enter the fifth house. Creativity, romance, and children. Boost in creativity and a lot of romantic opportunities. If you have children, maybe there's some intellectual growth or great communicating happening with your children and activities. This is also about enjoyment and play. So it's a period of marking some pleasure, and maybe you are researching how to have fun and learning how to have fun. Okay. So, yes, this is a fun placement, Aquarius. So have fun with this. And yeah, I want to know what you're going to be up to. All right, Pisces, Jupiter in Gemini is going to enter your fourth house of home, family, and roots, expanding family dynamics, positive developments in your home life, such as maybe moving into a larger home, dealing with a lot of female family members, and maybe they're moving in with you, but it's great. There's big family interactions and improvements in your home, maybe adding value to your home, learning how to add value because you are dealing with that Gemini, feeling more expansive and optimistic at home, a great time for hosting and entertaining, and really maybe giving speeches at home and learning from home, teaching from home. Okay, all that can be happening for you, Pisces, with this placement. All right, I hope everyone enjoyed, and I will see you guys at the Patreon video. Bye.